Hi there, this is Craig Beck from StopDrinkingExpert.com. Welcome into today's episode, and today I want to talk about why sober sex is better sex. Because this is another one of these loops that alcohol creates. You see, us drinkers, we tend to have this kind of belief system that alcohol helps us cope with life, because that's what the drug tells us repeatedly. You know, alcohol says to us, can't get to sleep? I can help you with that. But we know that alcohol doesn't induce a good night's sleep, because if that was true, then all problem drinkers would be bouncing around work fresh as a daisy, wouldn't they? The truth is, alcohol promises to help you with sleep, but what it does is it knocks you out, but then you wake up a couple of hours later with a racing heart, feeling terrible, and have very poor quality sleep throughout the rest of the night. So alcohol promises one thing, but can't deliver it. And this is true of everything around this drug. If you think about it, relaxation. Alcohol promises to help you relax. And it does, briefly. And then it ramps up the pressure to make you drink again. So it always ends up causing more of the problem that you're trying to fix than it actually resolves. So that's what I want to talk about today in regards to sex and alcohol. Before we go any further, let me just remind you, if you're worried about your drinking, do something. These problems never get better on their own, so take action. Go to the website, stopdrinkingexpert.com, and sign up for today's free Quit Drinking webinar. I'll show you how to stop drinking without willpower, how to delete cravings, and I'll also give you a free copy of my best-selling book, Alcohol Lied to Me, as well. And just one more thing, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel and make comments, and I'll get back to you. All right. So the loop with alcohol and sex is this, and it's quite a cruel loop, because alcohol generally increases libido. So it makes you more sexually active. It makes you crave sexual activity. But here's the twist. Here's the knife in the back. It gives you that feeling, but then takes away your ability to actually act on it. So for guys, it makes guys want sex, makes them horny, and then it takes away their ability to sustain an erection. It's cruel beyond belief. And yet we never get upset about it. We should be furious as guys, shouldn't we? We should be so angry that something that we're doing would have that sort of effect on us in such a twisted way, but we don't. We dismiss it. Now, I do understand that some people are using alcohol to facilitate sex. And this seems to be especially the case with women. I've coached quite a few women who don't enjoy sex. They find it traumatic and difficult. And so actually they don't want to be more present. They want to be more, unconscious of it. And for example, one lady I spoke to a few years ago now, she told me that all the way through her childhood, she'd been told that sex was something that was dirty and bad and wrong. And the private parts of her body were disgusting and dirty and shameful. Sometimes people can be real dicks, can't they? So that's what her parents had told her all the way through her childhood. So she gets into adult life and gets into a relationship, and the guy obviously wants a sexual relationship, and it causes so much anxiety and stress for her that the only way she can do it is to anesthetize herself and take alcohol. And you might think, well, is that justification, Craig? Is that a good reason for using alcohol? And it's not, because it never addresses the real problem. And as long as you keep covering up a problem, it's just going to get bigger and deeper and mutate into other things. Because that's what happens when you don't deal with these demons from your past. All this horrible stuff from your childhood that you couldn't deal with at the time, it didn't get deleted. Even if you can't remember it now, it didn't get deleted, it got repressed. It got pushed deep into your subconscious mind. And perhaps for decades it's been there breeding and developing and mutating and growing, and it becomes truly horrible things in later life, real serious mental health issues. And so if you find sex uncomfortable for that reason, for that emotional reason, and you're using alcohol to get around it, I would encourage you to actually tackle the original problem rather than cover it up, because it's only ever going to get worse. So that's the first point to make. Now, secondly, the reason why sober sex is better sex is manifold. Firstly, if you're a guy, there are two things you can do that are almost guaranteed to weaken the strength of your erection. The first one is drinking alcohol. The second one is smoking cigarettes. If you drink and you smoke to excess, you don't have great odds of being the great lover that you set out to be. The chances are your soldier is not standing to attention, because these two things are the most potent things you can do to cause impotency. If you do both of them, it's a disaster. So, alcohol causes erectile dysfunction. It's a proven fact. And the more you drink, the bigger the problem gets. But also it steals away your energy and your stamina. So even if you can get into a position where you're ready for sex, the chances are you're not going to have the stamina to see it through. You're not going to have the energy to be anything other than a disappointment. Now, this is not all just about men, because it also affects women as well. And let me tell you a story. I've lived with non-drinkers and I've lived with drinkers. And I can tell you life is so much easier when your partner is sober as well. But I know that not everyone can have that. And it's unrealistic to say to someone who's quit drinking, well, now you have to get into a sober relationship. I get that. And I have lived with a problem drinker when I've been sober. And it really damaged the sex, because one of the most attractive things about my partner, one of the most beautiful things about this woman that I live with, was her intelligence. I was just in awe of how intelligent and sophisticated and wise she was. Spending time with her was a joy. She really challenged me and she got me thinking about stuff, and I could talk about really deep feelings with her and she would get it. It was a really beautiful thing. And that's one of the top things about my attraction for her. The problem is she would drink. And as she drank, I would witness this crazy, intelligent, beautiful woman becoming a stupid zombie. A stupid zombie who wanted sex. And so she would kind of drape herself on me, slurring her words and say, come on, let's go to bed. And it used to break my heart to see this amazing, intelligent woman become this shell. And I know there's this kind of myth that men always want sex, men are always ready for sex. But when you're in a deeply committed relationship, it's not just about the sexual act, is it? It's about the connection. And I used to look at her and I couldn't do it. It just hurt me too much to see her like that. And because she was starting to drink every evening, it basically meant sex went out of our relationship. And when you lose that intimacy, when you lose that connection with your partner, it doesn't take long before things start to fall apart. So, when you're sober, sex becomes much more amplified. It's like you suddenly get sex HD because you're so much more present. You're not taking an anesthetic, so your nerves and your senses and your awareness is not dumbed down. You're actually experiencing it moment by moment, second by second, fully conscious, fully aware of how you feel. The excitement, the passion, everything is amplified hundreds of times more than when you do this drunk. But also physically, you're in better shape. You're physically able to perform. And you're physically able to go the distance. It's just off the scale better. And so there are many advantages to stopping drinking, of course. Health benefits, financial benefits, relationship benefits, but very rarely do people talk about the sexual benefits of quitting drinking. But it's huge. So if you needed just one more reason to get started on this, have this one on me. Much better sex. All right. Thanks for listening. Just to remind you, we've got Chicago's Quit Drinking Boot Camp coming up in about 10 days' time. Dublin is on the way as well for the first time ever. I'm in London and New York. We're going to finish the year in New York. So if you want details, go to the website, stopdrinkingexpert.com. Don't forget to sign up for today's free Quit Drinking webinar and like and subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. Thank you so much. See you soon.